Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ina and this one is...
My name is Iris.
Today is the second episode of my series called...
What's flowering in my indoor garden?
Yeah, and I have here today someone beautiful that's helping me to introduce this series. What do you want to tell people? Nothing.
We will start this video showing some of the Phalaenopsis in bloom at the moment. The first one is a no ID, very common in the supermarkets here in the UK.
I bought it last year at the discounted section for 20p. It was very dehydrated, the leaves were limpy and wrinkled, but look at it today. It produced a beautiful cascading of blooms. The flowers are white and they have a purple center and a red lip. So the contrast on these flowers is beautiful, it's gorgeous. I love this one so much, especially because I saved it. The second one is also a no ID that came from the discounted section of a garden center here in London, but I believe it's still recovering, so the blooming display is not the most beautiful. As you can see, I have only 3 purple flowers in bloom. It's a very tiny Phalaenopsis, so it's perfect for people that don't have much space, and it's the only completely purple Phalaenopsis that I have in my collection right now. I used to have others, but I lost them. Now I present to you a beauty. This one is called Phalaenopsis Linden Mix Zebra 709. It's also a hybrid, but I do think this one is much closer to the Polychylous Phalaenopsis genus. This plant has a beautiful pink flowers. The flowers are waxy and all the petals are patterned, so they look like a mosaic, especially if you look them against the sunlight.
It has a beautiful perfume.
It reminds me of the Phalaenopsis bellina, so it's the kind of fragrance that I love. I adore this one. Now I'll show you the ones that were blooming in February and were still in bloom in March. I will not be talking about them much here. I will show you the videos, the footage from March, but I will link you the February's video down below. So next, some Oncidiums intergenerics orchids. I have here first my glorious, my beautiful Odontioda Cadilingbark. This is such a reliable bloomer and it's an easy to grow orchid as well. It blooms twice a year for me, produces this beautiful cluster of blooms. The blooms are yellow and brown and they remind me of a tiger, so they have the tiger pattern. This plant, it's an easy intergeneric. It's very easy to grow. To be honest, it needs some water and it's a large plant, but more than that, it's not a finicky orchid. If you want one that will give you a beautiful display, but also will bloom multiple times a year and won't give you headaches, this one is the one for you. Second, I have another no ID, Oncidium intergeneric. Please let me know if you have the idea of this one, if you know one that's similar to this one. Leave a comment down below. It's also an easy to grow type of orchid. I forgot to water it many times and it definitely felt it, but it didn't struggle so much, which is quite unusual for these types of orchids. It produces a beautiful cluster of orange blooms. The leaves are white, which contrasts with the rest of the flower. The flowers are tiny, but it produces like 30 flowers, 25 per spike, which is a lot. I think it's a beautiful display as well. And just to let you know, I didn't detect any fragrance on this one, and I'm sure my Cattleyas doesn't have any fragrance as well, but I have fragrance sensitivity. So for me, it is great because most of the Oncidiums, when they are fragrant, their fragrance is pretty strong. So I'm happy they don't have a strong fragrance because their blooms are amazing. But if you are a fan of fragrances, maybe there are others that produce other types of fragrance that will call your attention. These ones are not the ones for you. Finally, I have Cattleyas in blooms. I'm not the best one of them. My environment is pretty cold. I had a cold and dry winter time, so now it's getting a little bit warm. But Cattleyas, what happened is I didn't get the right mixture for them, so most of the roots rot. I had lots of issues. I lost some Cattleyas and they are very tough plants, but I managed to rebloom this one, so I'm very happy. So I'll present to you the first one is the Cattleyas aurantiaca yellow. The display is not the most amazing one because I divided it many times, so the plant is a little bit stressed. That's on me. But even being a little bit stressed, it managed to bloom again. And I can see it's producing roots, so it will recover well. But my first impression with the Cattleyas aurantiaca, that's a very easy to grow species. So if you struggle with Cattleyas as well, if you think your climate's not right, maybe you should try one of these. The blooms are yellow and the flowers are tiny. They don't have any fragrance as well, but they are a very easy to grow plant. The next one is a Cattleyas aurantiaca hybrid itself. It's called Cattleyas aurantiaca Mishima spots crossed with sibling. This one, it's also a Cattleyas aurantiaca, so it's a very easy one to grow. I acquired it from Look Orchiding in Germany before the Brexit started. So from my order, I lost 2 Cattleyas from this order. But this one came to me not a mature species, so it was basically a baby orchid. It grows super fast. It produces now a mature growth and managed to bloom. And the blooms are breathtaking. I love this one so much. Look at this color. I do believe I have never seen this orange in flowers before. The thing is, the flowers are small, but they do have red dots all over the petals, sepals, and and the leaves, which gives sort of a contrast, but I think the flower becomes even darker in color. Unfortunately, it's not fragrant, but they are so beautiful. And again, they are not difficult to grow. So if you find it locally, I think you should give it a go because the blooms are amazing. I love it so much. And bonus, it is in bloom for at least 3 weeks now. And usually Cattleyas blooms, they last 2 to 3 weeks. And this one doesn't look like it will fade now. So I'm sure I have it for more than a month in bloom, which is also amazing. So I'm very, very happy with this one. The last but not least, Paphiopedilum Mrs White. This one, it's a hybrid that produces elegant white blooms. What I love about this Paphiopedilum is, first of all, because I have 2 blooms, and some paths, they produce 1 bloom at a time, and that they are a slow grower. And in this case, I have 2 blooms to show you, which is amazing. And the second thing is because the flowers are big, and I find them so elegant. They are a little bit freckled, especially the petal, which for me it looks really, really nice. It's very different from the last plant that I showed you that had that strong color. This one is white and cream, but I do think the shape of the flower makes up for it, and also its size. So, to complement that, the leaves are also mottled. The mottling on these leaves are not very strong, but I do think the leaves are beautiful as well. So I think it's a nice combo to have. So if you find it locally, they're super easy to grow. And when they bloom, you have a beautiful show, but when they are not in bloom, you have also beautiful leaves. So I also recommend this one to you. And that was the last plant that I have here today. I hope you have enjoyed this bloom show. And if you enjoy my videos, please hit the like button, leave a comment down below. We'd love to hear more from you. If you like this video, please hit the like button.
And subscribe to my mom's channel. I hope to see you soon.
Bye bye. Vai, mostra a florzinha. Mostra a florzinha. Não.